And I want to say to my brothers and sisters with disabilities that I am one of you.
After 8 years, we don't see no. 8 years, we don't see you. 8 years, we don't see you. Power! Power!
I live amongst you. I feel and I hear your pain every day. And that is one of the reasons why I decided to venture into politics. Because politics is a necessary vehicle to influence policy that impacts your community. And so I have chosen the People's National Party because it best aligns with my mission and purpose, which is to see a Jamaica that is inclusive and responsive to persons with disabilities. And that has paid rich dividends, because in 1998 I was appointed to the Senate. In 2001 I became a minister of state. In 2013 I became the president of the Senate. And today I stand as deputy chairman for the PNP, and Mark Golding has appointed me as a full member of his shadow spokesperson. And so understand the significance of that. The population of persons with disabilities in Jamaica can be assured that with a Mark Golding led PNP, their voices will be heard. And when my leader gave me the mandate to focus on housing and sustainable living, he said that you must come up with strategies for affordable housing. And you would have heard a number of the things that we have spoken about housing. But we are going to be building 50,000 houses across this country, and persons with disabilities will be benefiting from those 50,000 houses. But the leader has also pointed to the fact that every constituency will be getting a minimum of 500 houses, because we're going to distribute the houses across the country equitably. People want to live in the spaces that they grow, they born and grow. And we are going to be making sure that these houses are built and spread across the country equitably. But when we build these houses, we are not just going to be building houses, we are going to be building communities. We are going to be making sure that the facilities and the amenities around the communities are accessible for persons with disabilities. So when we're building out the sidewalk, those sidewalks must be accessible for persons who are wheelchair users. No two ways about that. And we are going to be ensuring that in our monitoring mechanism that is included. I also want to say, when we developed the National Disability Fund, it was grounded in research and experience with persons with disabilities. And that is why all of those issues that the leader and Comrade Dennis Daly has articulated will be included. But critical to this, and I want you to all take note, we realize that the NGOs, the non-governmental organization that represent persons with disabilities, have been coming under serious pressure in terms of finances over the years. They have been buckling under the pressure because of an international classification where Jamaica and the Caribbean are regarded as middle income countries. And so grant funding has been shifted from the region to poorer countries in Africa and Southeast Asia. And what has happened is that sources that NGOs would normally get grant funding from have dried up. And this has caused the non-governmental organization catering to persons with disabilities to be buckling under pressure. We, under the National Disability Fund, gonna make sure that provisions are earmarked for NGOs to get support to run and manage their organization. They play a critical role in the support structure for persons with disabilities. If it wasn't for the NGO community, I don't know what would happen to persons with disabilities in Jamaica, because the state alone cannot carry that mandate, and we have to give support to the NGO communities. I want to say, as I close, as I listened to the presentations, I want to make two references. One, in 2013, when I was president of the Senate and took the decision to introduce sign language in the Parliament, it was a struggle. And it was when they saw that I was very serious, and I'm talking, when I say they, I'm talking about the parliamentary administration. I said that if you don't come up with the funds to pay the sign language interpreter, I'm going to extract it from my budget at the University of the West Indies. And when they saw that I was very serious about it, they decided that, look, this is a serious issue. We have to carry it. And the decision was taken. And today, it is a pride and joy to see sign language interpretation in our parliament. And I tabled a motion recently calling for sign language to be recognized as an official language, a part of the Jamaican society. And that, I don't think it's going to be debated, Comrade Leader, because at any time now Parliament will be dissolved. But the intent is to make sure that, you know, all those issues of sign language interpretation are introduced in the broader society. And then, when we were dealing with the Disabilities Act, and it was drawing out for a long while, Mark Jefferson Golding was the chairman of the cabinet subcommittee that deals with legislative committee. And I spoke to him and I said, look, Mark, based on your antecedents, your family connection, you have to make sure that we get this legislation to the Parliament in the shortest possible time. And without a doubt, he entered up on the reference. And when the document went to LegCom, it was approved and sent to Parliament, and he led the debate in the Parliament, in the Senate, in terms of the passage of the Disabilities Act. And so I say, hail to the leader of the People's National Party. The word is long. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Comrade Floyd. Comrade Julian Robinson, yours will be the task to come up with some funding mechanisms.
Thank you very much, Juliet. Let me acknowledge the party leader, my colleagues, the members of the disabled community, and I have members of my own constituency who are represented here. Hail to you for being here. I suppose my job is to ensure that everything that has been said gets funded, right? And I want to start by Mark mentioned my own orientation at Hope Valley. So I went to Hope Valley when I was 4 years old in 1976, and I spent 7 years there until I did my common entrance and went to Campion Hampton. But I would say, and I have to thank my father, because we actually started at a little prep school on this road called Williamsburg, and my father made a decision to move us to Hope Valley. And the persons, and maybe I haven't seen as many persons in one sitting in one room, but for us it became the norm, because we were in classrooms with differently able persons. We developed friendships with differently able persons. We went to the swimming pool, we went on the track, we went down to Hope River, we went to pick Cooley Plum. So the 7 years that I spent at Hope Valley, I would say, are probably responsible for why I'm in politics. Because the exposure to, Damien said out of many one people, but the exposure to differently able people is what I think developed my social consciousness and why I chose to do what I do. So, having Mark at the helm of the government, you've heard the commitment from all of our speakers. You've heard Floyd's own journey and story and the height to which he has reached. He's not a spokesman on the disabled community. He's a spokesman on housing. And that was because you don't want people to view Floyd as just dealing with a particular subject area. So how are we going to make this happen? We have a tight budget, I'll say that, but within the budget for the ministries, agencies and departments, we have to ensure that a larger share is reserved for persons who are disabled. So I'm not going to tell you that we're going to find a bag of money overnight, no, but our commitment, and it will be a journey, because raising the consciousness of the need to do this is not easy. It's not immediately front of center for everybody. But what we will ensure is that we increase the share that is reserved for the disabled community. That we ensure that entities like the Jamaica JBDC and DBJ, who provide support, who provide funding, technical assistance, grants, that they increase that support to persons from the disabled community. Because we recognize the significant challenges that exist for you. For those who have children, and I like the correction, people don't choose not to work. They don't have a choice in those scenarios. So we have to support you. We have to look at, for example, we have social pension, and how can we expand, for example, the social pension for persons from the disabled community. So the commitment that you will have from me when we get to the point of being in government is that we will ensure that this becomes a bigger priority, and that the monies that are available within our ministries, agencies and departments, that a greater share is reserved for this community. And you have my personal commitment on that, as somebody whose life has been shaped by my own experiences. The 7 years that I spent at Hope Valley, which in my view has developed that consciousness that has enabled me to serve in the way that I do. So I want to thank Maureen and the organizers for putting this session together. And I can tell you, if there's nobody else who will hold us accountable, Maureen is going to ensure that anything we say here, that we deliver on. And you have our commitment as a community that you will be a priority under People's National Party government. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Juliet. Friends, I want you to just give a round of applause to those who have made their presentation. We know that you've been sitting and, for quite a while, but we do want to hear from you, so we're going to ask you to prepare to ask a few questions. I'm going to ask if Comrade Jesse, if you could exchange seat with Comrade Leader, and Comrade Crawford, if you could exchange seats with Comrade Denise. We've had a number of issues raised this afternoon into the evening, from raising public awareness and public education to the issue of screening.
Hot water channel, straight to the max. Bring the thing to the people then. Original generous speed. Same way. Man, big up hot water channel, enough ice cream. Yeah man, big up yourself.